Let's go.
In the west of Africa lies a tale of strength, sacrifice, and the founding of a great kingdom. This is the legend of Queen Pokou. Centuries ago, in the land known as the Ashanti Kingdom, a child was born for greatness. Queen Pokou, born to the royal family, would one day change the course of history. Her legend speaks about the endurance of a leader willing to make sacrifices for her people. With some elements of magic or mythical aspects within the legend, her character reflects the resilience and determination that became integral to her tale. There are no records of Pokou's father. As the story continues, you will know why, but her mother was known to be Nyaku. She had a brother called Diakon. Opoka Wuari I was her uncle, and Osei Tutu I, the formidable king who co-founded the Ashanti Empire, was her granduncle. Her husband was Thano, with whom she had a son. The history of the Akan or Ashanti tribe can be traced back at least as far as the 12th century, when they began to infiltrate the forests of what is modern Ghana, eventually living in most of the southern part of the region currently occupied by that country. In 1295, the oldest Akan kingdom was established under the name of Bono Mansu. In many ways, Ashanti kingdoms resembled medieval European principalities of the same period. Independent kingdoms were founded, prospered for a time, and then disappeared, only to re-emerge in a new form. The kingdom of Denkira emerged and established the ascendancy of the Ashanti tribes. Osei Tutu, a military leader of the Oyoko clan, conquered the Akan people in the forest surrounding his state of Kumasi and united them into a confederation of states. Osei Tutu took the title Asantehene, or king, and established a capital at Kumasi, uniting several small kingdoms into an even larger empire. Famous throughout Western Africa, he ruled from a throne of gold until his death. At the time of Pokou's birth, the Ashanti kingdom was still intact. She was born into royalty, the grandniece of the powerful Osei Tutu, and the daughter of Nyaku, niece of the king. Since succession to the Ashanti throne was through the mother line, a mother's identity was therefore more important than a father's. That is why Pokou's father was not recorded. She herself was important to the succession, since the royal heir was the child of the king's sister or his niece. When a new male heir succeeded to the throne, the queen mother shared power with her son. When Osei Tutu was ambushed and killed, the power over the Ashanti passed to his nephew, Opoka Wuari I, who after his death was succeeded by his nephew, Diakon, Pokou's brother. She chose a husband according to the privilege of her rank. Much to her regret, however, since she was in line to produce the next heir to the throne, she did not become pregnant. One day when Diakon and his army were away at war from the Ashanti capital at Kumasi, enemy troops occupied the town. All the royal princesses were killed except Pokou, who arranged for the townspeople to escape. Prepared to die at her post if necessary, she was instead taken hostage. When Diakon returned to his empty capital, he was furious. Diakon appointed a warrior, Thano, to lead the forces in freeing the royal princess.
Thano, my brave warrior, take some men with you and go free the princess. If you succeed, her hand will be yours.
My princess, I am Thano, I serve your brother the king. I was sent by him to save you.
This marriage resulted in the birth of a baby boy, ensuring an heir to the golden Ashanti throne. While the child was still an infant, Pokou's brother became ill. Before his death, Diakon named a successor to the throne, but the appointed heir was soon assassinated by Kwisi, Dakon's rival.
Dakon is dead. I am the new king. Anyone who dares confront me will go and join him.
Recognizing that Pokou's son was the eventual rightful heir, Kwisi sought Pokou's blessing for his reign. Kwesi perhaps even hoped to marry Pokou. Certainly he believed that her support was vital to maintaining his power.
I am the new king and I will make you my queen.
Never, Kwesi. Never.
But Pokou refused to give her backing to the usurper. Instead, she decided to leave Kumasi and found a new kingdom, and invited Ashanti families who also wanted to leave to join her.
My people. Kwesi is an usurper who killed the rightful king. I am leaving and you are free to follow me.
For groups of Ashanti of noble rank, the Wuarabo, the Fafu, the Nzipri, and the Sa decided to follow Pokou. Others who joined her were the Atutu, the Nanfu, the Ngba, and the Agba, all of whom had been conquered by the Ashanti.
Go after them and don't come back until they are all dead. But I want Pokou and her child alive.
Pokou's followers were pursued by Kwesi's soldiers. They headed westward toward the Komi River, passing through interminable jungle, where they fought panthers, giant ants, and giant snakes. Sometimes they crossed savannas filled with belligerent elephants, and serpents seemed always to lie in wait no matter what the terrain, while illness also dogged their footsteps. After many months, still pursued by Kwesi's troops, they reached the banks of the Komi River. Faced with a raging torrent, it was uncrossable. Pokou asked her priest for advice, and he told her a sacrifice must be made to the river gods. So her followers proceeded to throw their most valuable belongings into the river to calm the angry spirits, but their efforts were useless. The priest consulted the spirits, and was told the sacrifice of a noble child was required to cross the river. He considered sacrificing a sick woman and her baby, but Pokou decided that the river gods would not accept such a meager sacrifice. As Kwesi's troops drew nearer, she was convinced that nothing less than her son would please the river spirits, and threw her only child into the waters of the Komi.
River gods, I offer you the flesh of my flesh.
Suddenly an enormous tree stretched over the waters, forming a bridge, and river animals like crocodiles and hippopotamuses rose out of the water to transport the people on their backs. No sooner had Pokou's people reached the other side than the bridge and river animals disappeared, stopping the army's pursuit. She called out,
Ba'oli,
which means the child is dead. It was for this event that the migrating Ashanti became known as the Baholi, in memory of Pokou's son. To claim her new homeland, Pokou displayed remarkable intelligence and leadership qualities. Compared to the other groups living in the area, she knew she did not have the means and an army to start a conquest. She slowly grew her clan number through marriages and trades. With the means now available, she created an army and led her troops against the local ruler Agbati and his forces.
take all and leave them with nothing. Attack.
And ultimately gained the upper hand. Since her army had better weapons while the enemy did not. She waged war only in self-defense, never simply for the sake of destruction. Declared queen by this time, she was a judicious ruler, expert at settling disputes among tribes and individuals. But Pokou died not long after the establishment of her new kingdom. She was succeeded by her niece, Akwabenua Bensua, who perished during her conquest of the Ure people, and then by a male ruler, Akwaboni, who expanded Bahuli control. Queen Pokou was a leader, others were willing to follow, and one whose greatness was proved by her willingness to sacrifice her own happiness and well-being for the sake of her people. The Bahuli ethnic group is found in West Africa, in the eastern part of current Ivory Coast, also known as Côte d'Ivoire. One of her most famous descendants is Didier Drogba, the former Chelsea striker. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey and watching my storytelling video. I hope you enjoyed the tale as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. Your support means the world to me. If you resonated with the story or have any thoughts to share, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Your comments are my favorite part of this community, and I'm always excited to connect with you. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, share it with someone who might find it interesting, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel for more captivating stories and content. Your support keeps the storytelling alive. I look forward to reading your comments and continuing this journey together. Until next time, take care and happy storytelling.
Goodbye.